It's famously known as a personal best haven for runners all across the globe. But what are the things that you need to avoid when running the Berlin Marathon? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Now, Berlin is one of the biggest races on the planet, and you are going to find all of these tips really helpful. We'll be covering advice, including some of the pitfalls around race day logistics, as well as some of the tips around official merchandise and race day mementos. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But for now, we are going to run down my advice of things not to do when running the Berlin Marathon. Don't underestimate the fastest and flattest major. 26.2 miles is 26.2 miles, period. It doesn't matter whether it's up or down, it's a long way. One thing you'll hear over and over is that it's a fast and flat course. Whilst this is true to some degree, this can lull you into a false sense of security that you're going to smash your personal best. You may well do, and the race certainly has some history about many people breaking their personal bests. But it's good to aim low and shoot high, and then you won't be disappointed if you just missed that personal best. I felt pretty good after this marathon, and the first part was largely flat, although there were some gentler climbs in the second half. Remember, it's a massive field size and there are several narrowing sections, particularly at water aid stations, so you might find you kind of inadvertently slow down at some parts, and this may affect your target time, so factor that in. More on Berlin water aid stations a little bit later on in the video. Don't forget your identification at your bib pickup. If you've watched my previous video on my top 10 Berlin tips, if you haven't already, go and watch it, then you'll know that the Expo in Berlin is pretty unique in many ways. It is stringent on quite a few things, not least showing some of the important documents that are sent to you as well as ID, so don't forget them when you go to the Expo. Specifically, your start card, which is sent a couple of weeks before race day, so check your inbox and your spam or junk folders, as this is your ticket to the Expo and therefore your bib number. You'll also need some photo ID, so like your passport or your driver's license, so make sure you don't forget it, as otherwise it will be a bit of a wasted journey. Don't remove your wristband. Another item, as well as your bib, that you're going to receive at the Expo is your race day wristband. Don't take it off, and whatever you do, don't lose it. This identifies you as a Berlin Marathon runner. You have it applied at the Expo and it remains on you until you have finished the marathon. You will not be able to access the participant area or the start line without it. It also ensures that there is no bib swapping and also that there is next to no queuing to get into the participant area, unlike the Portaloo queues. Don't drive to the start line. It's best to get to the start line by foot or public transport. Travelling by car should be avoided due to the lack of parking facilities. And you should consider getting accommodation near the finish line, or if that's quite expensive, close to a U-Bahn or subway station. Getting into the start area was super easy with the wristband and bib, and there was no queuing to get in. The start area is in the Tiergarten, it's a really big park. Your bib number is your ticket to the start and back home after the finish line. In the spirit of sustainability, the Berlin Marathon has included a 4-day ticket for public transportation for fare zones A, B and C, which is valid for the 3 days before the race as well as the race day itself. So that's fantastic. The starting area opens at 7 AM. The race both starts and finishes near the historic Brandenburg Gate. And with over 50,000 other runners, you really can't miss it. Don't forget to book bag drop. If you choose to drop your bag while registering, you can leave your things at the bag drop tent in the starting area for about €5. This year, a lovely warming poncho awaits all of the finishes for the Berlin Marathon. This is free of charge and can be a great reminder of your run. Don't miss your Corral start time. An obvious one, but unfortunately does need to be said. Whilst from memory I can't remember any Corral time announcements, there may have been, and it's good practice to get to your starting pen in good time. It will reduce any last minute anxieties, and the participant area is in a large green space, so it's a fairly decent walk to the start line for most of the entrances. Can be anywhere from about 10 to 15 minutes from that first gate to your starting pen. Whilst I wasn't late to mine, the Corral was full by the time I got there. I did manage to politely squeeze my way in true British style. Don't forget your own water. Race organisers encourage runners to bring their own hydration bags, vests and drinking belts. There are specifications on their website, so do make sure you check them out. There are 9 water-only stations spread throughout the course and a further 6 opportunities at mixed refreshment zones. As previously mentioned, if you are gunning for a PB and you're not near the start of the masses, consider your water strategy with either your own vest, allowing you to bypass some of the bottlenecking at some of those earlier water stations. Don't get caught out with the false finish. A bit of a misconception, you do not finish at the Brandenburg Gate. The route passes through 10 of the city's neighbourhoods. Around the 10k mark you'll pass the German Parliament building, the Reichstag. You'll also pass through Victory Column, and at around the 35k mark you'll reach the Potsdamer Platz, full of tall buildings. The marathon's finale through the Brandenburg Gate is truly epic. But the Berlin Marathon does not finish at the Brandenburg Gate. You've got at least another 400 metres after that, so don't celebrate too early. If you've run this before, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Don't miss out on really competitive and good value official merchandise. I am a sucker for purchasing the official race day photos. Normally I'm a bit like, just take my money, even though some of the pictures are absolutely awful, sweaty and in lots of pain. And some of those packages can be quite pricey, but if you're running Berlin, I would say don't pass up on the race day package from Sportograph. Sportograph is the official photo partner for the BMW Berlin Marathon 2024, and they cover the usual special moments from start to finish. What I particularly like about this package is its price, and it's only at €40, and that they stitched together a really nice short moving video, which you'll see included in this video and the top 10 tips video. It shows you moving through the video, through around the course at various checkpoints, and includes some of the footage of you crossing through those sections, but also the finish line. The package also includes a great selection of scenery and impression shots of the event. All in all, a great memento from race day, so don't miss out. Don't forget for you and your supporters to download the official race app. Normally I try to delete and declutter some of my unused apps, but the Berlin Marathon app is really key for you to download to get the most out of your race day weekend. It has your usual race day and expo logistic information, as well as all your important Corral start time information. Best to plan and get it downloaded before race weekend and familiarise yourself with the different sections. On registration, you can decide if you want to be tracked or not. I'd suggest to set this to public or code, in which case your supporters or people at home can track you whilst the race is on. And finally, don't get injured in the lead up before the Berlin Marathon. Well, I know it's not always that simple, but unfortunately the Berlin Marathon doesn't offer refunds or allow you to defer your place. In fact, I had a bit of a muscle strain in 2019 and was able just to patch up and just grit it out. But if you are unfortunately injured, make sure you get good medical advice and be sensible whether you drop out or not. As hard as it is, health comes first. There is, however, an exception in the case of pregnancy, which permits you to defer your place for up to 3 years with a medical certificate. So ideally, just don't get injured. So there you have it, my tips of things to avoid when running the Berlin Marathon. It is an amazing race, so really good luck to all of those who are running the Berlin Marathon this year. Have you run Berlin before? Did I miss any out? Make sure you drop them in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more future running videos. But until next time, happy running.